Confident. If you have confidence about something, you are sure of it. I had confidence that I did things well in the test. Consequence. A consequence is the result of the trial action. As a consequence of missing my boss, I had to find another way to work. Disaster. A disaster is a really bad thing that happened. When the car crashed, it was a disaster. Disturb. To disturb someone means to upset them. The now noise disturbs me when I working. Estimate. To estimate something means to make a guess about it. The boy estimated that was 1 meter tall. Honor. When you honor people things you got respect for them. I honor my sister teacher by working hard in class. Impress. To impress someone means to make the person proud. He was able to impress the girl with new dance. Marathon. A marathon is a very long quickly just to refresh into a kilometer. I ran a marathon and now my legs are tired. Narrow. When something is narrow, it's very thick. The bridge is too narrow for car to drive over. Health. Something is pale. It does not have a very bright color. The girl's skin is very pale. Rough. When something is rough, it is not even or smooth. The most rough was of my face. Satisfy. To satisfy someone means to make them happy. It was satisfy my teacher by finishing my homework. Scream. To scream means to make a loud noise with a mouth. The girl saw a spider and screamed. Sensitive. When or something is sensitive, they are easily hurt. My teacher is sensitive to cold things. Shade. The shade is the dark area of something made when the blocks the sun. It was hot outside, so the boy sat in the shade of the tree. Supplement. To supplement something is to add something else to it in a good way. He supplemented his diet with fried food. Terror. When something feels terror, they are scared. I felt a sense of terror when a tiger chased me. Threat. A threat is something bad that happened. Due to the dark cloud, weather crashed at the back door. Victim. A victim is a person that has something bad happen to them. I was a victim of the robbery. The deer and his tamer. A deer told himself every day, I am the most handsome deer in the forest. My large chin to the symbol of my power, and my beautiful art impressed the animal. But he did not like his leg at all. My legs are narrow, and my hopes are ugly. They do not satisfy me. One day, the deer saw a big door. The deer makes a noise and stirred the door. The dog woke up and trailed them. The deer felt terror. He screamed. He did not want to be a victim, so he ran into the forest. His song left him one bed. His pale brown hair was gone, so he was not sensitive to rough frost. However, he groaned got corner branches, slowing him down. His broad chest could not fit between victims. The deer estimated he ran for an hour. He felt like he was running a marathon. In the end, the birds gave up out of the dark. He sat in the saber dream. That was almost a disaster. I almost did not escape but got a trash of front. My leg will save me. And as consequence, the deer learned to honest in fast land. I kept confident and his strong Laura. Pretty thing only supplement important thing, he thought. Unified, worthless, etc. A set brain or overstimulate. It's that we grace distraction in the first place upgrades love these tiny little nuggets of information and social media and email and this thing that we do for the course of the day. Here the event of mechanism in our micro innovative by which a variable process of heat of dopamine, one of the chemical, the same one to get one it in order the whole, medium piece and nominal that are the same when you get in glove. We get that same simulation when you track Facebook. We get the dual cause in their mind, so not only crazy traction, but our mind record the specific errors and Friday, destruction and first place. So this is the state of our mind today, whereas the hyperstimulated state when we bounce around between the bunch of different objects of attention that very, very stimulating for our mind. And so I thought, okay, if the phone have the same pattern by step, what if I lower how stimulated I was even more still? And so you know this feeling. Thus, we experience how to go from being the state of high stimulation to state of motion. It has a name. That name equal bottle. It's not a restorative therapy. Super busy when I buy the caution and again and again. I will do that. So I charted my put out the core and the reason my last dad asked them was the most boring thing that they can think of. Doing I get myself worse 1 hour a day for a month. I thought I did some. Several still upset about the creator's where I item the same condition for 1 hour. And that story started immediately that might think they therefore hosting a Canada the claim apartment is very easy. This is the trick that Frankfurt don't cover reservation because the banquet blame people wait for hours to get turned off to generate all the result that I could in the first 10,000 visitors a fly. Page 24 was the clock. Did, did for 1 hour. And 27 other activity. But still they got furiously. I know exactly, said the fact, and I just then it took about a week for my mind. We just went to a newer, lower stimulation and as a tears as still just I might a day too fully go down and rest, but went wrong vacation example vacation, using an hour today. But I also know that my attention expand. We're able to focus even more actively because I was slapped by huge traction, but my mind was so much less stimulated than the distraction in my first place. But Franz part with the idea and plans that trust me that didn't before. And the reason became because my mind had turned to water or after. That the great word I loved and maybe know from J.R.R. Cole that sense that all the wonder I lost. And the exact same thing is true with the apply to a focus when the frost to our attention and the think power. When you pass emotion, your real idea struck, you really focus on something. Maybe this morning you're taking a shower, or maybe some water in the bathroom into mind and the trance too. The next several the constant need by the ideas are brought into mind, good the idea that would never had otherwise be focused on something else on the phone. For example, this is the most regularly my quarter I call this metaphor. At the research survey, last my welcome to my dear in the plan because where am I? Wonder to it. This is fascinating. It turned out what you want is just mere attention. We go to free, time, place. We think about the past. We think about the present. and think about the future, but to think about the past less, then we might think about the 12% of the time, estimate the time, calling idea, and then stop wondering some. But the present, with a much more productive rate of water, you want to think about the present 28% of the time, and so you're something the typing of email, and they can find a way to phrase something the very out. To go and go to the room, to go to a rehearse, the other solution hit you, because the mind has to change to a culture and the product in a different direction. But here's the thing. I might wanted to think about future or whether the past and the present combine. When the alpha mind is going to think about future 48% of the time. This is why we want to take a challenge out the entire day, even has a certain them. That the coordinate the protected by it if the coordinate the mind wonder. It's a good laugh at the say. As a cat anymore, there are analytical whether time made the door in lamp. Or does it have? You know, the other side fluid is hard, but whatever is for you, that's the last of my wonder, something as simple, something that doesn't consider for attention. I happen to be something that is not necessarily still of my agent, a prophet Neconnect, meaning he's my favorite hat and naked. Rather than train where they tell them meeting in the hotel room before the stay today, they can have calmed down, set them you learn. They come up with so many ideas when I did and have no kind next to me. Whatever I did for you and take a nap, I sure brown cell need to take up that. I pretend to sell into that. Secrets not sell. I guess the idea as well. From simple, whether walking from one room to another and the other, the simple change, but you don't use the phone during a log. Your mind will go to the meeting, they go to the calling and stop, onto the idea the stimulating and make you more creative in this way. Let's create something as simple waiting in mind, and just waiting in log. And going getting the sign, whatever it is and what's mine. I love this picture so much. Whatever you love doing, that's the year the protest action rules and let you have no past deception, but they will come to you and your thinking and some cultures and gets out of the way. But I think after doing the deep data research, we need to make two fundamental shift. We forgot to everything but our attention. We think that we move the fish more and gather all the talk about hustling and the anti-hustling. And what the lazy people I meet and give me some idea. Talk about race about you don't need a fit war. Same we get even order or million pieces no middle you know the same when you get the make love. We get that same stimulation when you check Facebook. Where's the dopamine about the mind? Where's not a great distraction? That's our mind we got the seeking errors and Friday. Destruction in the first place. Junior, this year I did a cross girl with a salmon from Colombia. So this is the state of my mind today, where the type of stimuli state when the boundary between this bunch of different object attention very stimulates for our mind. And so I thought, okay, if the phone had the same pattern and rest, oh, the stimuli I was even more still. And so, you know, this feeling that we're feeling to go from the state of high stimulation the most religion has name. That's name we call boredom. As the restore feeling the harvest super busy with their mind pressure, the thing I was and they got go. So I challenged and put out the code the research mindset as soon as the most boring thing that I can think, doing to make myself was an other day for a month. So I did a step for still. Upset about for a greater state, then I read the items and condition for an hour. It's actually started in most book and my thing day fry with the I Canada Banquet Island. It's very easy did a trick because software don't comparison like out the backwards when people they can wait for hours they can get through. Then I did they can order zero that I got in the first 10,000 pages. Apply 24 hour the clock. Tick, tick for 1 hour and 27 over activities a month. Geez, I still, but curiously, I noted the exact same effects as I did to the smartphone required. It took about a week for my mind to adjust loud in newer or lower stimulation that's much curious about research. As our 8 day fully came down and rest when I got vacation as example, a vacation it be longer than today. But I also noticed my attention span expand. I was able to focus even more at first day because I was around fewer attraction, but my mind was so much less stimulated at distraction in first place. As the front smart was the idea can plans that trust me that didn't before. And the reason that's okay because my mind had the chance to wander more after. That's the great quote I love that. Originally from J. Arconi, when he says that no all that the wonder are lost. And the exact things it truth, it turned out that there are so focused what their our attention will think about that. They're going to back to really idea talk or do you really forgot something. Maybe this morning you're taking a shower. Or maybe some morning the part of your mind has a chance to connect to several of the consignation by they were storing around the mind and create idea that will materialize otherwise. Focus on something else on the phone. For example, this mode is the best way to deliberately remind water causes muscular focus and the research shows that less might come up with the ideas that are my plan. Because where my wander to is fascinating. It turns out what the one we just mentioned was I go to three main places. We think about the past, we think about the present, and we think about the future. We think about the past less than we might think. Only 12% of the time, with often the recalling idea that these top 100%. With the present, that are much more productive place to more wonder think about present 28% of the time. And this is something that typing an email, you can find a way to phrasing something that's very radical to go and go to another room, they can house it office solution hit you because of my the change of project and project the problem direction. But here's the thing, our mind want to think about future more than the past and present combined. Whenever I might wondering, think about future 48% of the time. This is why we're taking a shower to plan our entire day, even if it has started that. This go on my positive bias and the growth when I might wonder. Is it good with math?